You can't talk about Disneyland without talking about the food because sometimes the snacks and the meals along the way are just as legendary as the rides.
From the first bite of a churro to that perfect swirl of Dole Whip, Disneyland's food is part of the magic. Today, we're taking you on a delicious tour of the park's most iconic eats and where to find them right now.
You're listening to Castle Talk Radio. We're live on the airwaves with Becca and Jessica. Now let's jump into this week's episode.
Whether you're planning your next trip or just craving a taste of Disney nostalgia, we've got the scoop on the classics that have stood the test of time and a few modern favorites that have earned their spot on the must-eat list.
Yeah, we'll share what makes each one special, the best time of day to grab them, and a few insider tips on how to skip lines or find those hidden locations most guests walk right past.
So grab your Mickey pretzel, settle in, and let's dig into the most iconic Disneyland foods and where to find them. Let's start with the one that's practically a mascot at this point. It's the Disneyland churro.
Yes, you can find churro carts all over the park. And I'll list the locations off, but really the best way to find a churro cart when you need it is to search the word churro in the Disneyland app and it'll populate a list for you right there. But let's go ahead and name them off by location. So we'll start at Disneyland Park, and I'm just going to warn you, there's a lot. So we have near Haunted Mansion, kind of in the Harbor Galley area. You have near Sleeping Beauty Castle. It's right there in the front, usually on the right-hand side. Near Town Square, that's closest to the entrance on Main Street. There's the Small World Promenade has it. There's one near Casey Jr. Circus Train. There's one near Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and it's actually right across from where the Mark Twain boarding is. And there's one in Tomorrowland near the exit of Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. And there is one in Bayou Country down at right below it used to be called just Hungry Bear, but now it's Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree, I think is what it's called. So those are the ones, and that's only Disneyland, guys. So you've still got more because we've got a whole list over at California Adventure. So we have Senor Buzz Churros on Pixar Pier. We have Willie's Churros on Buena Vista Street, and that's on the right-hand side towards Sorin. You have the one near Goofy's Sky School. There's one near Redwood Creek Challenge Trail. There's Terra on Treats in Avengers Campus, also has churros. And Cozy Cone Motel 1 in Cars Land has churros as well.
Okay, so we definitely have some churros.
Yeah.
And others that pop up in the list, if you're looking on the app, it usually means that they have something on their menu with churro in it. So, for example, at Trolley Treats, that comes up in the search because they have churro toffee, which is another popular Disneyland treat. So you can grab churro toffee at Trolley Treats, at Candy Palace, and at Disney Wonderful World of Sweets in downtown Disney. And that one's really popular to eat in the parks, but also to take home.
Yeah, definitely. People love that churro toffee. So we covered all the churro carts, but the one thing that is a huge craze right now is every season, every little change in weather, it feels like Disney has new seasonal flavors of their churros. And those are usually sold each flavor at one specific cart. So, for example, the caramel apple churro or the 70th celebration churro, those are ones that are on the list, but you can only get each of those at a separate specific cart. So my family used to do a churro challenge where we would try all the seasonal churros for each season, but then they started switching them a lot more often, so we just couldn't keep up with it, but they had a lot of fun with it. With that though, Jessica, I'm not a churro person. I'm not a fan of cinnamon. So let's move on to something that I enjoy a little bit more, and that's the Dole Whip. Because you can't say Disneyland snack without thinking about that pineapple soft served treat.
Yeah, and the Dole Whip has been popping up at frozen yogurt places all over. So it's not as exclusive to Disneyland Resort as it once was, but it's still a really refreshing staple, and you can grab that at a few places. So we have Tropical Hideaway in Adventureland, and that spot now has mobile order for Dole Whips. You have Tiki Room with mobile order. You have the Tropical Bar at the Disneyland Hotel if you're staying there or just want to stop by and don't have a park ticket. And then you have the adorable snowman frosted treats over at California Adventure. They currently don't have the pineapple flavor, but they have other flavors like raspberry and lemon, and they also serve it in a flight. So it's basically like sample sizes of each flavor.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out before we move on is that the Tropical Hideaway has lots of different flavors that you can get, or like with special toppings, things like that. So that's a great one. But they also have the classic one. So that's a really great one to go and like order a bunch of different flavors with your group, and you can all sample each one. So, okay, we just had something really sweet with the Dole Whip. So now I need something a little more salty, savory. So let's move on to that kind of treat with the Mickey shaped pretzel because any food is better when it's Mickey shaped. And we're also going to throw in all pretzels at this point because there are different flavors. You've got the Mickey shaped plain, the cream cheese filled pretzel, which is a huge one that people rave about. And then for those that like things a little more spicy, you have the jalapeno cheese filled pretzel. So not every pretzel cart has every variety. So again, use the Disneyland app to search and then tap on the location to view their specific menu.
That's right. And here's a quick run through of the places you can grab these pretzel snacks to take on the go when you're headed to the next ride. So at Disneyland Park, you have Small World Promenade. You have a pretzel cart near Star Tours in Tomorrowland, near Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. You can get them at Refreshment Corner on Main Street, and that is a location that's not a cart. Then you have cart in Bayou Country. And in California Adventure, variety of pretzels as well. You have Bayside Brews. You have Pim Test Kitchen, which is the giant pretzel with the dipping sauce, Sonoma Terrace, and Studio Catering Company.
Yeah, and while we're on pretzels, we can't forget the garlic cheesy pretzel bread that is a meal in itself and has taken over social media. You can get this at Maurice's Treats, which is in the around the Royal Hall where you meet princesses. And you can also get it at Edelweiss Snacks, which is near the Matterhorn.
Yeah, and while we're at the carts still, so we've talked about churros and pretzels, mostly sold at carts. We have to mention popcorn. And the popcorn carts are often very near the churro carts, like usually across from or just around the corner. So if you see a cart selling one thing like ice cream or churros, generally there's a popcorn one nearby or vice versa. And it really never hurts to ask a cast member where the closest one is because it seems like when you're actually looking for them, you're like, they're nowhere.
You would know because you love your popcorn. But um, that's really honestly a great point. And we're not going too far from carts because another super popular foodie item is sold at carts and stands throughout the resort. And oh my gosh, I can't even bring myself to say it. It is turkey legs. Those are just not appealing to me, but many people love them, so it has to be on the list.
Yeah, same. Not my thing. But the fried chicken, well, we'll get to that soon. But for now, you should know where you can get those turkey legs. Hot Foods near Central Plaza. So this is the hub area looking toward the castle. Ship to Shore Marketplace. That's right by the Mark Twain. And they also have the really popular breakfast chimichangas that run out in the morning. Okay. So that's a great one to make the list. Turkey legs at Edelweiss Snacks, Poultry Palace at Pixar Pier over at California Adventure, and then the seasonal cart near Goofy Sky School as well.
Okay, so I'm glad we're not spending any more time on this. I need to get that turkey leg image out of my mind. So, can we move to fried chicken?
Mm-hmm.
S- Let's go. They have it at Flo's and Plaza Inn.
Yeah, favorite Plaza Inn for me, for sure. But since we're already by Plaza Inn, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves to the famous deep fried Disneyland corn dog. So you can find those at 3 locations: the Little Red Wagon on Main Street, Stage Door Cafe, and then Corn Dog Castle at California Adventure. And those are all mobile order.
Okay, we're definitely in a groove here. So let's keep up with the deep fried trend and go to the Monte Cristo. It is battered and fried sandwich, sliced turkey, ham, and Swiss with the seasonal preferences, with seasonal preserves. preferences, with seasonal preserves. You can get it at Blue Bayou and at Cafe Orleans. Both require reservations. You can also get a to go version at the Royal Street Veranda in New Orleans Square. It's right up above the entry to Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay, so since we're still doing fried foods, it only makes sense to switch back to a dessert or a breakfast, really, whatever you're feeling, and that is beignets. So we have Mickey shaped beignets that are at Mint Julep Bar in New Orleans Square. So it's the perfect break between rides. You can grab a mint julep or a seasonal drink to go with it, and these are non alcoholic. Downtown Disney still has beignets at Beignets Expressed right next to Jazz Kitchen. Now, those are often described as better tasting, but they aren't Mickey shaped, so you have to take your pick or just try both.
Yeah, before we move on, I have to say though, even the Mickey shaped beignets are not that Mickey shaped. They are the
True.
least Mickey shaped of the Mickey shaped foods. Okay, so back to mint julep where you got your somewhat Mickey shaped beignets. Across from the Haunted Mansion, you'll want to mobile order cookies from Harbor Galley. And these are so good. They come in packs of 6 or 12, and the staple is chocolate chip, but they often have a seasonal variety. And they do run out of those seasonal varieties quite often. The chocolate chip, they're pretty good at keeping stocked now, but I always suggest mobile ordering them early. One, so you don't have to wait in the long line that it can get, and two, so that you are pretty much guaranteed your cookies.
Yeah, and I always describe those as being like the perfect homemade chocolate chip cookie. So it's not like you've never tasted these cookies before. Like you'll taste them and you're like, yeah, these are it. But they're just so good for Disneyland. Like the other chocolate chip cookies in other areas of Disneyland, they're not good. These ones are really good. If you want just like a warm, fresh, like homemade tasting cookie, this is where you get it. And speaking of the seasonal varieties, Jolly Holiday on Main Street is my go-to for seasonal desserts. They always have themed cupcakes or macarons or cookies or whatever event is happening. But the most popular year-round classic is the raspberry macaron. So you're going to want to mobile order early, just like Becca said for the cookies. And it doesn't mean that you have to pick them up early. It's just that you're choosing your pickup time early on in the day. So you could do that around 9 or whenever, and then set your pickup time for maybe 2 p.m. when you know you want a snack. Or if you want to take it home, you can choose a pickup time for like 9 or 10 p.m. And they're going to hold that for you. So they're not going to sell out. Make sure you have your raspberry macaron. It's also a great place to grab the macarons and put them in a locker. If you're bringing them home, they'll put them in like a sort of hard plastic takeaway container.
Mhm.
And those just are delicious.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've done a lot, Jessica, and we're running out of time, but I do have to throw in one that wasn't on our must cover list because I feel like it is iconic. It's on all of the snack like merch that they make when they make something that has all the snacks on it. And I can't believe it wasn't on this list. And that's the Mickey Premium Ice Cream Bar. How did we not have that on the list?
Sort of. Like I threw in a reference to the ice cream carts, but yeah, that's one of my favorites too. And I think that's yours as well.
Yeah, that's my favorite frozen treat just because it is a classic. Honestly, it's a very rich for me. I I make myself eat all of it if I'm alone, but if my kids are there, I'm definitely sharing. But it's iconic. You can find it at any of the ice cream carts. I can't think of a single one that doesn't have it. Um, and you can even pick them up in some of like at the Grand. I think they have them in a
Yes.
freezer at the Craftsman that you can go and get them. So that's kind of fun. So whether you're a churro traditionalist or an adventurous foodie, you can always find something new to try at the happiest place on earth.
And the fun really is discovering your own iconic food. That's the one that you have to get every trip. You know, it might even be chicken tenders, and that's totally fine. So tell us, did your favorite make our list, or which ones did we miss? And maybe which ones are you adding to your foodie list? We'd love to hear about it. And we'll be talking more food at future episodes of Castle Talk Radio.
You've been listening to Castle Talk Radio. For exclusive discounts on tickets and hotels, free guides, and to listen to past episodes, visit castletalkradio.com.